Hello and welcome to another my NT&D marriage video. I wanted to talk about something different today, something a little more lighter. I guess a good point you could say, which there may not be a lot, so I think that it's good to talk about them. So, one of the things I do to lighten the mood around here, and even before being in this relationship, it's just kind of always who I've been. And it stems from my family, who have always been this way too. My dad and his siblings are really funny storytellers. They can turn the most ridiculous, daggy, crazy story into a belly laugh. Even my cousins in general, actually. But this one particular cousin was talking about how she was sitting on her front porch in one of those little egg seats, one of those little seats like an egg that swings, and she's in hers, and she falls off the porch in the seat. And I mean, you're sort of hearing it and thinking, that's deadly, you know. But the way that she's telling it, we were both in tears. We were laughing so much we were in tears, holding our tummies, you know, arms and legs flying everywhere, yada yada, she's saying. And it was just hilarious. So on my dad's side, that's kind of what we do as a family, I guess, is try to tell the most silliest, funniest story, just to keep that light mood. And so in this relationship, I'm often doing things like that, but also just goofy things. One thing they do the absolute most is continually doing different accents. So I'll walk into my son's bedroom to see how he's going every, so often, periodically, just to check up. What are the children doing? What are they up to? Do they need anything? Are they safe online? Not that I tell them that's what I'm there for, but that's what I'm there for. And so I'll walk in and I'll just do an accent. So sometimes it'll be, "Here, what's your game, lad? What you think you're up to?" And my son is often on speaker, so his friends can hear him. And there was one time I walked in there and I did this German accent, which is, well, Germanic, I guess, Scandinavian, who knows, I just make it up. And they hadn't heard that one before, his friends on speakerphone. And all of a sudden I could just hear them laughing. And even my son was laughing and saying, "Oh, that's a good one." And so that's just what I do. I just put accents on. Just different accents, different sayings. Pardonnez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Let me see, what else? What's the matter for you? Just weird things. Just come out and say these random sayings in the middle of nowhere. And one accent that I like to do the most is my Vietnamese accent. And I should apologise in advance to anybody who gets offended by white folk doing other people's accents, because I'm not meaning to be racist in any way whatsoever. I don't care the accent. I don't care where they come from or who they are or anything. I just love accents. I think they're really fun. Anyway, so hubby tells me that we're going on a drive to a place called Healesville. And it's actually spelled heel, H-E-A-L. But it sounds like hill, H-I-L-L. And so I just jokingly say, "Oh, Hillsville, we go to Hillsville. Is that the Ville with the hill or the hill with the Ville?" And then next minute, hubby and I are just laughing our guts out because it was spontaneous and he didn't know it was coming. He just says Hillsville and I'm off. And so I do these random things just to lighten the mood. And there was another time we were at a restaurant and I was telling a story, a childhood story. One of my children had asked something, a really good question along the lines of, what's some sort of interesting story you can remember from when you were younger? And so I'm telling this story and I'm not thinking anything of it, I'm just telling the story. And suddenly they ask a question because they're a bit confused. "What do you mean by that?" And I give the answer And it was so surprising that all four of us just belly laughed in the middle of this restaurant. And we were like tears in our eyes laughing, you know, and it was really funny because everybody around us was looking at us like, what the hell? Who are these people? And we just couldn't stop. Like, we knew we were being watched. We knew you're in the middle of a restaurant, you know, and we just could not stop laughing. It just had to work its way out of us, right? And now that's one of our most funniest family memories. You know, it made that particular situation enjoyable because we go out a lot, and by a lot I mean like birthday, special occasions, and sometimes just a weekend outing. And generally they're not that good or they're not that fun. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video or not, but we went to a drive to a chocolate factory down the road because our sons had mentioned that it'd been ages since we'd been there. And so we go for the drive, and the drive up, it's dead quiet in the car. It's like nobody's speaking, nobody's making any jokes, talking, nothing. I've got one boy who's got his earbuds in listening to music, another one who's off in his own world daydreaming. Don't know what hubby was thinking, but I'm driving along listening to my music quite quietly and softly, feeling really blah, like this is unfun to me. And then we get to the place and we have some lunch and we buy some chocolates and kind of banter a bit here and there, but over lunch it was just mostly me doing any of the banter and, you know, being met with like one-word answers. And I'm like, woo, so exciting. And then we drive home and it's more silence. And stuff like that, like I don't know what my family thinks, but it just kills me. You know, I'm sitting there and thinking, this is our fun family outing, like, it wasn't fun, you know? And yeah, look, like I say, I don't know if they think that it's unfun as well, but for me, it's kind of depressing. Like, nothing's happening, nobody's enjoying themselves. We're not even talking, you know? And so that's why I'm constantly trying to lighten the mood and bring a little bit of something creative and fun and happy to the situation. And I know that I've talked about this before. Somebody will say a line and I'll think, oh, that's a line from a song. So I just break into that song and start singing that particular line. And sometimes it's really surprising and people laugh. And my son says, I'm surprised at how many songs you remember. Me too. Yeah, and every now and then they will do something really funny. I can't remember the specifics. But hubby was walking towards the table and he said something on his way to the table and we all just burst out laughing. And then I say, wow, that's really cool, hubby cracked a funny. And then we're laughing some more. And so every now and then one of us will say some sort of one-lined quip that makes us all laugh. It's not daily, it's not weekly, but it's still there and still happening and something that I guess is good within the relationship of all of us. Whereas me and my goofiness, I try to do that frequently. And I don't even think it's for anybody else's benefit but my own. If I'm really honest, I'm just doing it to cheer myself up. And if others are cheered up by it, good on them. But I do it mostly because I feel kind of sad and lonely all the time. Like there's just not a lot of talk, there's not a lot of laughter. And so I do these daggy things to try and cheer up the family and teach them these funny little sayings like, look at the book, you know, trying to be Scottish, which terrible Scottish accent I must say. Scottish and Irish have a mastered. If I've indeed mastered any of them, I definitely have not mastered those ones. And so yeah, just trying to put a little bit of comedy in my life, make my life a little bit more happy, goofy, funny. And I think one of the winning formulas is that hubby also has this really goofy, childish humour like I do. And so I think that that's one of the things that works for us. If he had a really serious attitude and didn't find my jokes funny, that would make things a lot harder. I mean, I would probably still be doing my silly me things, but it's more fun when other people find them humorous as well. And he tends to be quite surprised with the things that I come up with, these random sayings and random doings and just stuff like that. So, you know, it helps. Whether or not it makes us overall happy, I don't know. Considering what we're all going through right now, with one son with anxiety, the other one with major depression, I don't know if my humour has helped the boy with major depression not be as bad as he could be, but considering he's quite bad, maybe not. And maybe, I don't know, I don't want to ask him because I don't want to plant that seed, but I don't know if his depression is caused by the fact that we drive to a chocolate factory in silence and there's no joy. Like, is that part of it? Or are they separate? I don't know. But anyway, that's what I do with my family, trying to just be jovial, throw these accents in there, do these comical little skits, tell funny stories, be daggy and humorous and lighten the mood and just bring some laughter to the scene. Not sure if this will be anything that others can relate to, but if you can and you do something similar, or you have other ways of trying to lighten the mood around your house, feel free to drop a comment below. Love to hear from you. And I think actually this would be really interesting to know from others. Give us all some ideas on how to lighten the mood, because these situations can be quite heavy. Anyway, drop a comment below. Love to hear from you. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it.